Meantime, voters will soon elect a new top law enforcer in Erie County. After years in office, Sheriff Tim Howard has decided not to run again. Howard has been involved in law enforcement more than 2 decades. He was appointed undersheriff in 1998 and then elected sheriff in 2006. But his tenure is marred by controversy. And as 7 Eyewitness News I-Team has discovered, in the past 6 months, the sheriff has had only a few public events on his schedule. So all new at 6 tonight, what do these new candidates think about the sheriff's transparency and accountability? And what is their pledge to you? The I-Team's Ed DRANTCH is getting answers.
Day after day, page after page, between January and June, Erie County Sheriff Tim Howard has little on his county calendar. 11 events over 6 months. The 7 Eyewitness News I-Team obtained his calendar through a Freedom of Information Act request.
I've attended a lot of events. Just because the media chooses not to cover events I'm at doesn't mean that I don't attend events.
We caught up with the sheriff during an unscheduled interview after refusing to speak with us, and his spokesman releasing a statement that reads in part, quote, his position is more about keeping the people of Erie County safe than attending public events.
I don't list my events on the county calendar because I choose not to. There's no specific reason for that, but I keep track of my own events and I attend them as I see fit.
But take a look at this. Just for some comparison, we got a hold of Niagara County Sheriff Michael Filisetti's calendar for the same time period. Despite the COVID-19 pandemic, there are meetings, updates, and constant appearances every single day. This is something the Erie County Sheriff candidates say we can expect to see a lot more of if they're elected to office.
This is every week, and then I add more on top of that.
Democratic candidate Kimberly Beatty showed us her calendar as she commands the Department of Public Safety at Canisius College. If elected, she says she's expecting to be busy. So in terms of transparency and accountability, how do you get there?
Well, we have to rebuild trust, work on rebuilding relationships with the public, restore and advance community policing. We need to have community meetings. We need for the public to have a say in what happens in our community, and we also need to get with the decision makers and all of us work together.
Republican candidate John GARCIA says he will be visible in the community each week to hear about needs and concerns. He says that helps create a public trust.
I want to hear what the issues are, and the issues are different. If you're in Newstead, Grand Island, City of Buffalo, Concord, you know, there's different issues.
One issue in particular is what's happening inside the Erie County Holding Center, where 32 inmates have died, according to the State Commission on Corrections, since 2005, when Sheriff Howard was first elected. GARCIA says there's room for improvement here, and scrolling through the sheriff's calendar, he says there's room for improvement in public life as well, even though the sheriff's spokesman argues, quote, there have been very few events over the past year, if any, due to COVID.
You always have to make the effort, and you always have to get in front of the issues. And even though COVID hit, crime didn't stop.
Do you think the sheriff's done a good job?
Well, I believe he has done a good job as far as maybe not getting out to the community in that example. You know, and getting out to the community and hearing what the community needs are. The men and women of the Sheriff's Office have done a tremendous job.
We need for the people that work in the Sheriff's Office and the community to come together. We need for them to know that dignity, respect, and professionalism are at the heart of law enforcement, not at odds with it.
As for the sheriff's calendar, his spokesman says the sheriff, quote, maintains constant communication with his command staff about the office and significant incidents. As for the candidates, there are actually 2 things that unite them. Number 1, they both have law enforcement experience. And number 2, both say this election will serve as a new direction for the sheriff's office. For the I-Team, Ed DRANTCH, 7 Eyewitness News.